Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm excited for this one. We're talking about the top 10 reasons why men are frustrated with modern women. And these things are talked about, I feel like, all over the manosphere, but I have collected many of them and some of my own opinions and just things that I've heard from you guys into a countdown from 10 to 1, 1 being the biggest factor. So let's get started with number 10. Modern women are more difficult to approach. Some reasons include not wanting to be labeled a creep. He's not getting clear signals from her. He doesn't want to, simply because he believes that it won't go anywhere, and so it's not worth it. If you guys want a very detailed list of this, I have that in one of my last episodes, a few episodes back. That video is about the 10 reasons men are no longer approaching. What I will do is, if you guys watch this all the way through, it will be the next video that pops up that's recommended. The 9th reason why men are frustrated with modern women is the level of acceptance of speaking poorly about men. It's widely accepted. We see that especially on social media. But not only that, I think that it's creeping into the real world, right? Because women will speak freely to friends and family, oftentimes right in front of her man. She will speak poorly about him out in the open. How do you think that makes him feel? And on top of that, it really does allow other people into the relationship. Let's face it, most female friends are not the type that's going to be, siding with him and trying to bring her back down to reality. Yes, it's possible out there, but the majority are not. Most women will just egg each other on, and they will just take the side of their friend, and they will say, absolutely, he's terrible. You deserve better. You should leave him. For men that are trying to date in today's dating world, you can tell a lot from a woman's social media. And I will never forget the TikTok that I saw. It was a woman that was complaining that the man that had asked her out on a date canceled that date after he got a hold of her TikTok account. And on that account, she just had video after video man bashing. And look, kudos to him. And he was open and honest and said that's why he was no longer interested, because that is something that she will probably hide over a period of time as you're starting to get to know her, and then you get connected with her and attached, and then that eventually comes out. Like, if those are her beliefs about men, that's going to seep into the relationship, and no man wants that. The 8th reason, we hear this a lot, and I would probably get a lot of hate for this if I had a lot of female followers, but that is that modern women tend to be more delusional. Many of them will call themselves a 10. And I'm not just talking about looks here, guys. I'm just talking about everything that a woman brings to the table. Oftentimes today, it is just seen in her eyes as way more than what it really is. And because of that, these women believe that they deserve whatever they say to themselves that they deserve. And so the expectations are skyrocketing. The 7th reason is that there is a lack of understanding of the differences in how men think versus women. Understanding rather than trying to change is so important, because we are different. Like, we do think differently. And I think that when women are just trying to fight against that and they're trying to change their man to think like they do, it's an ongoing battle. Like, it's never going to get there. And even if as a woman you feel like you do eventually get there, it's only because you beat down your man so far that he's like, hands up, he's just doing as you do. I also see this outside of relationships, where a lot of women on social media are trying to change men in general to do better, when often it just has to do with how the two genders think differently. And it's not that he's a bad man. It's not that men in general are trying to make it harder for us women. It's simply that he thinks differently. The 6th reason is that modern women do not desire love and connection as much anymore. This is because of hookup culture. It's been widely accepted from modern women and other things too, like friends with benefits. It's just these setups where, she's getting one type of desire met, and it's at the sacrifice of love and connection. And there are many, many men out there that want the love and connection in a relationship. They do not just want the sexual stuff. The fifth and fourth reasons are very similar. They are very much connected. But we'll start with number 5. She compares herself to her social media friends' lives on social media. Comparison is a thief of joy, guys. And men just want you to be happy. And it seems like it's becoming more and more of an impossible job for them because of these really high expectations of life, really, from social media. For example, the ridiculous size engagement ring, the big house, the kids, the getting perfect happy pictures to post online, going on extravagant vacations, all while maintaining a job that pays for all of it, but not working all the time. The fourth reason, I told you guys this is very similar. So it's where a modern woman will compare her husband to her social media friends' husbands. Again, this is not good. It really brings up unrealistic expectations from the relationship, from her husband. We're talking about these expectations to have crazy gifts, all the gestures in the world, the ability to clean up and take a good photo, the post from him talking about how he has this amazing love and just blah, blah, blah about her. Like, most men really don't care about doing that because that's not really what matters the most. That's just an image that's being put out there. And more men seem to be very much aware that that is oftentimes false, that's not really telling the whole story. I've known way more men to be very much off of social media, or at least like they're not putting out their personal stuff out on it. Men are really using social media most often for the entertainment, or they're looking to learn something new. They're not so much comparing themselves with somebody else. The third reason why men are frustrated with modern women is the level of selfishness that they are exemplifying. Women will talk very openly from the very beginning in relationships or potential relationships what she wants and what she desires. But rarely do we hear about what she's willing to give to a man. So it's very frustrating for a man to just constantly hear what he needs to provide while not hearing anything about what would be given to him. And a lot of men are okay with it to a certain extent. Like, I feel like there's a lot of men that will deal with hearing what he needs to do 80% from the relationship, and he's okay with only getting 20% from her. In general, women need to understand that it is okay to want to give. It's okay to want to give more than what you expect to receive. Like, that is the healthy mindset. You shouldn't be trying to keep score so that you keep it right at 50-50 and, it's worth it then to be in that relationship. Otherwise, it's not worth it. You should toss the baby with the bathwater and get someone new. Like, no man wants that. All right, the second reason, guys. Oh, this one I talk about a lot, and that is double standards, right? So from the beginning, men cannot talk about physical preferences when dating. They get bashed. Men cannot talk about their feelings without it being used against them eventually. Men cannot expect bills to be split 50-50, even though she works and probably earns more than him. Women expect a man to be doing great in life, successful, and good looking, but she is unwilling to work on herself to be that same thing for a man. And now, drum roll, the number one reason why men are frustrated with modern women is that modern women do not take accountability. It's like they are contagious to taking accountability for their own happiness, for prioritizing themselves instead of blaming a man for what she feels like she doesn't have time to do for herself. there is typically a lack of communication, which is oftentimes that root cause of issues within a relationship. And she will typically be unwilling to take accountability for that communication. And I've said this before, but just because you've said words to somebody does not mean that you've clearly communicated it. The whole problem with not taking accountability, right, is that it leads to a lack of personal growth. It really only stops her from being able to grow and from the relationship to be able to grow. And it really brings a man down. It's dangerous too, because it will lead to the feeling of entitlement from that woman. And if she feels entitled, she's more likely to take what is not hers from a man if she leaves the relationship. And we know that the risk of that is high in marriage. It's about 50%, if not higher now in first marriages. And so it's a dangerous woman, to get involved with if she feels entitled to more than what she really has contributed within the relationship. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think about these top 10 reasons, and let me know if I missed any too.